Hello, YouTube. This is Chelser the Destroyer. We're going to watch some r/, the best of I have to arrest my own parents, which, all right. Just as a disclaimer, again, I had surgery last week. I'm on some pain management, so I might be a little more out of it than I normally am. I'm also already drowsy today, so bear with me. Grab your snackies, grab your bevies. I gotta hydrate, redeem. I'm gonna drink my sweet tea, and let's get to watching some drama, some other people's drama. I love other people's drama.
/ best of Redditor updates, where OP gets his parents arrested with felony charges.
Felony?
Our next Reddit post is from r/.
Like, that's even bigger than just like normal arrested. We big jail, like prison. Dang.
/ credit score. My parents opened up several credit cards in my name while I was away at college. They racked up more than $15,000 in debt. And
that's a lot. But I feel like they could have done more.
now they want to kick me out because I brought it up. I guess this is a lesson in paying attention to my finances. After having just finished my freshman year of college, I came back to my parents' house for the summer. My mom made it a habit on Monday or Tuesday to make sure that she got the mail before I had a chance to. She even ran out of the kitchen on Tuesday to make sure that I didn't get it because I was expecting an Amazon order. Today, the mail came kind of early, and there was a letter from a collection agency addressed to me. I only knew that it was a collection agency once I opened the letter and discovered that I supposedly owed nearly $5,000 on a Capital One card that I had no idea I was ever signed up for. Once I was done freaking out, I called my dad at work and asked him what to do.
So, like, once you get your identity stolen, it sucks. It's happened to my mom a few times, unfortunately. Well, it's like a few times because it's like this one person over and over and again, because the whole situation sucks. And I'm just like, man, it is rough out there because you got to change all your information, but you can't change some of your information. Like, you can't change your social security number or whatever, right? So it's just like,
was weird when he said, talk to your mother about it. He didn't seem happy at all, but I didn't think much of it. Once my mom got home, I asked her about it, and she said that her and my dad opened up a few credit cards in my name for household expenses. She said that she thinks that I owe around $10,000 to 3 different credit card companies. I checked my credit, and it turns out that I owe over $15,000. We ended up having a huge argument about it, with my mom saying that her parents did this to her when she was 18.
That doesn't make it okay. Like, oh, well, my parents did that. That doesn't make it okay. When I turned 18, I got a credit card through my bank, okay? And my mom took me to the bank to get this credit card. And it was literally only for me, and it was literally just to like, boost my credit because I was an 18-year-old about to go to college. And it was literally like, hey, use this for books, and if you, like, get food or something, and then, like, I would pay it back. And she was like, and you have to pay it back every month. Like, you have to call the bank and just tell them to pay it off using your bank account. But don't use it for, like, stupid shit. And, like, that's what I bought it, my books with it for college, which, because, you know, those are expensive as hell. And, like, you know, food, and that was it. Like, this is insane. This doesn't make it okay.
She said that I could file for bankruptcy and that it wouldn't hurt me because I wouldn't be trying to buy a house for several years.
What?
I'm interested in going into a government-related job.
What? It's fine. Just file for bankruptcy and we got all this free money. What?
And a bankruptcy would probably disqualify me for it.
Probably
My mom knows this, but it doesn't seem like she cares. My dad got home
Tell me your mom's a narcissist without telling me your mom's a narcissist.
couple of hours ago, and they talked to me together. Either I can declare bankruptcy after they're done spending on the cards, or I could move out at the end of the month. Funny how they forget to mention option C, which is call the cops, but let's continue. It just feels like it's incredibly unfair because it doesn't sound like bankruptcy will actually do anything for my credit, and it'll probably sink my job opportunities. How can I get my credit score back to where it was, which was around 720? And how can I get this to not affect my credit?
I mean, it's gonna tank your credit score for like a while. Even with like it still kind of negatively affects you, unfortunately. But yeah, call the cops.
Credit going forward. All right, down in the comments, people are pointing out just how illegal this is. Checking Out says, "This is identity theft. It's a felony.
Yep.
The ball is in your courts. You could easily have them arrested and you could put a lien on their property." And other people are pointing out, you're a tenant. They can't just kick you out. They have to evict you. Then 1 month later, OP posted an update. I ended up taking the advice of the vast majority of people here, and I filed a police report. The officer took some printouts of everything as evidence. Once I had the report, I called all the credit cards that I had a debt to, and I gave them the police report number. The 3 credit card companies all took this, and they were pretty cool with it.
Because this shit happens. Like, I have a credit card that I use a lot, and like, Run Fern, hi, thank you for the follow, welcome. So I have a credit card that I use a lot with a lot of stuff, and it's the number one that gets like stolen, I guess. Like, it doesn't physically get stolen, but like it's the one that like someone gets its numbers and uses it or whatever, and they're really good about it. I've also had this happen to my debit card in the past. It's so annoying, but this happens so often, which sucks. So they're like, yeah, okay, we're going to get our money one way or another. And it's like, okay.
Collection agency wanted me to make a goodwill payment so they could start investigating my claim that it was fraudulent. They said they could still sue me even with the police report if I didn't cooperate with their fraud reports. I refused, obviously, because I don't want them to be able to take money out of my bank account. I never told my parents that I went to the police, and for a couple...
That's fair, because they never told you that they were stealing your identity and opening up credit cards.
Of weeks, they had no idea. Man, I love that turnaround. Right after Memorial Day, they received a call from a detective, and everything blew up. After the call, they began screaming at me, and my dad started literally throwing my things out the door. At that point, I called the cops, and they showed up, and they told my parents that if they wanted me to leave, they would have to evict me.
And that takes like 30 fucking days. You gotta like do a bunch of stuff, and they have 30 days to leave.
I came home from work the next day, and the locks were changed. I called the police again, and my parents refused to open the door and said that all my stuff was at my grandparents' house. I received another report for the unlawful eviction, which I was told was a civil issue, and got my stuff from my grandparents. Luckily, I have a friend with a couple of spare bedrooms, and she said that I'm welcome to stay with her for a couple of months. I'm scheduled to move into my own place in about a week. Once I get a full tally of the total cost of everything included in moving, I'll be filing a civil lawsuit against my parents for the unlawful eviction.
Kick them when they're down.
I was told by the same detective that my parents didn't seem very truthful with anything, and my state's attorney office will be in contact in the next few weeks regarding identity theft charges. He said he believes they'll likely prosecute, possibly as soon as this week. If that's the case, my parents, or more likely just my mom, will be issued a warrant and have to spend at least a night in jail.
Damn.
No matter what, I feel as though I made the right choice.
You did? That's ridiculous.
The world was just completely stacked against OP, and OP still managed to make the right decisions.
The world wasn't stacked against them. OP had shitty-ass parents. Oh, you know, my parents did this to me. Just file for bankruptcy. It's fine. That is fucked up. And I'm sure that's not going to look good on them if it's like, hey, so they told me that I should just file for bankruptcy so like I didn't have to pay any of this back. So they were basically not only identity theft, but also just straight up stealing. Like, I don't even know. I don't even know how to explain it because I'm a little out of it. But, like, you know, like, they had a plan, and it wasn't just identity theft. You feel me? Like, Jesus Christ. I mean, I guess it was stealing no matter what. But, like, damn.
His parents were stealing from him. The collection agencies were straight up lying to him. But, hey.
Yeah. Collection agencies probably don't believe you, right? So, like, you're gonna be like, oh, you gotta pay us a little bit. No, the fuck I don't. I have this police report, and if you try to take from me, you're going to be involved in this whole fucking thing with their police report. But it's like kind of like a weird gray area.
Reddit pulled through and saved OP from financial ruin. And I just love that OP didn't tell his parents because, after all, they didn't tell OP about the credit card debt, so why should he tell them about the felony investigation? Whoops, sorry, Mom and Dad. Our next Reddit post comes from r/.
You know, you can just file for bankruptcy maybe or some shit. I don't know. File for not going to jail. I don't know.
Relationships. At the time of this event, I was a 27-year-old woman and my boyfriend was 27 as well. A year ago, I was about to move in with my first serious boyfriend, Josh, with whom I was head over heels in love.
As you do.
One of my closest friends said that Josh had shown them a nude photo of me on his phone when he was drunk during a party. 5 or 6 more of my friends corroborated the story and told me that Josh also talked in extreme detail about our love life when showing the photo. It was
sickeningly detailed. How close are these friends? Because, like, first of all, you should... Oh, God, look at an eyelash in my eye. You shouldn't, like... More criminals should fight for not going to jail. You should... Okay. You shouldn't show anyone your significant other's nudes unless your significant other is okay with that in some way, shape, or form. Okay, that's a conversation. Some people are like, whatever... I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I am not against lewds or artistic nudes. Just to be honest, like, I got weird feelings about the human body, but sometimes a good photo is a good fucking photo, okay? But, like, I don't want any of my stuff getting showed around without, like, my permission, right? So, like... But, like, talking about your sex life, like, I don't know. That's the friend thing. Like, if you're really close to friends, like, sometimes that happens. Right? Like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Like, sometimes, like, this is especially for girls. I assume guys do it, too. I don't fucking know. I don't talk about sex with my guy friends. But, like... You know, they'll be like, oh, yeah, so this, if you're, like, really close. I'm a little bit prude, not gonna lie to you, but, like, I don't know if y'all get that vibe from me. But, like, I know girls do this. I assume guys kind of do something similar. I think the issue mostly is the picture. You shouldn't just show pictures. That's between the sender and the sendee, you know. I don't know. Lost my thought.
Sickeningly detailed. This didn't sound at all like Josh.
Oh, and he was drunk. So, maybe don't send him nice pictures or let him take them.
When I asked him what the hell was going on, he denied everything. He eventually got very angry and started calling all of my friends liars. At one point, he showed up at my place while some of them were visiting, and things got a little physical.
Yo.
It was really a very strange turn of events in my life. Josh seemed so worked up, and all of my close friends were calling him a liar. Josh did have photos of me on his phone, which I know is stupid, but we did it in the heat of the moment and everything. So I trusted my friends and I broke up with Josh. It was heart-wrenching. Josh begged me to believe him. He started tearing up, nearly punched the wall, and left angrily. I was really...
Question. Girlfriend. Do you talk to any of your girlfriends about your sex life? Like before this?
grossed out at the time and felt super conflicted. A few months later, I started dating one of my friends, Alex, who had told me about Josh showing everyone the photo. All of my friends were pushing me to date Alex at the time. We didn't...
The vibes. The vibes are sus. They got sussy vibes. Okay, there's sussy vibes with Alex.
Really sing, and it didn't go past a few months, but we remained friends, of sorts. So today, another friend sends me a message that says that he wanted to get something off his chest.
Yeah,
he said the
he?
story about Josh wasn't true, and they were really trying to get me to date Alex, so they made up that story about Josh. After talking to a few of the other people, including Alex, it all came out that they were lying. It was this...
These aren't your fucking friends. These aren't your friends. You can't trust these bitches. You can't trust them. They ain't your friends. There it is. Vindication. The vibes were sus. Sussy vibes. You need to leave. This ain't romantic. This ain't fucking cute. This is shitty. This is toxic. And you need to leave.
Effing orchestrated bullshit event that totally changed my life forever.
Yeah.
Apparently they hated Josh and thought that he was bad for me and a butthole. But that's my effing decision. I'm shaking right now.
You know who's bad for you and an asshole? Alex and all y'all little friends. Okay, dump them. Dump all of them. Crawling Abyss, hi, how's it going?
I cried in the office bathroom for about 2 hours afterwards. I loved Josh so much. We were planning a life together. And I've been friends with that group since high school. What the F? I guess I'm supposed to stop talking to these friends, right?
Yeah, you absolutely should. Hey, Sigardi. So, 100%, I am not still friends with a single fucking person I was friends with in high school. Listen, sometimes you just grow up and change as people and you stop being friends with people and you grow apart. I think my older sister is still friends with some of her high school friends. I don't really know. I don't know how often they talk or whatever. But I don't talk to a single person from high school, I'm gonna be honest. What? It's fucking... Yeah, you should stop talking to them. They're not your friends. They ruined your life. They tried to ruin your life. I don't know. You can't go back and be with Josh. That trust is destroyed. Come on. No.
I can't possibly come back from this and still talk to them, right? This basically nukes my group of friends. But how could I even look at them again? Also, I need closure with Josh. Can I call him? Should I call him? Then, about 1 week later, OP posted an update. Even though everyone seemed to think this was a terrible idea, I sent Josh an email on Friday. I copied it here. Josh, I don't know if you're still connected to anyone on Facebook, but if you are, you probably already know why I'm sending this. And I know it's totally unfair and selfish to contact you, but I can't imagine going...
Think about how traumatic this is. How... she kind of lost everybody, right? Because of their weird fucking, we want you... This one guy in our friend group wants to date you. So we're going to orchestrate this whole thing and possibly ruin your life so you date him. Oh. But also, Josh, that ruined his relationship with her. All of this is fucked.
Through the rest of my life without apologizing.
Yeah, no. Josh is also, Josh does not owe her anything. I'm gonna be honest. He legitimately doesn't. He does not owe her anything. But, damn. This whole thing, this is fucked.
So, before I say a bunch of embarrassing things, more than anything, I want to say that I'm sorry that I didn't trust you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry I let other people decide our relationship. I'm sorry for what I put you through. But I figure this might be my only chance to say this, so here comes the really lame, embarrassing stuff. I spent the past day thinking about the past year, where I would be if I had believed you, and what my life would be like. Would we be engaged? Would we be married? I'm not over you. I want to try again. I'm not asking you to marry me, but if you ever find yourself thirsty, I would love to buy you a beverage of your choice. I want to talk to you again.
Hey, if you ever want to get your dick wet, hit me up. That's pretty fucking funny. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I miss everything about our relationship. I miss you getting annoyed when I stole your french fries. I miss fighting with you over money. I miss making you breakfast. I miss watching The Office with you over and over and over. I miss you. My information is still the same. I wouldn't blame you if you ignored and deleted this. Just know that I know. I'm really sorry. So I sent the email and tried to take my mind off of it. Just writing it and sending it was extremely cathartic. I spent Saturday morning sitting around watching old movies when someone rang my doorbell. Assuming it was Amazon, I ignored it and waited for the delivery driver to leave so I could sneak out and grab the package since I was in my robe. After a minute or two, I walked over to the door and looked through the peephole. It was Josh. Obviously, my heart leapt in my throat. I had been compulsively checking my phone for a...
This is some kind of rom-com, Hallmark movie bullshit. What? All right, Josh, what you got to say?
Response, but I wasn't expecting something like this. Everything in my house, including me, was pretty disheveled. I cracked the door, smiled, said hi, and told him that I had to get dressed really quickly. What a terrible interaction. So I ran around my place throwing stuff into corners, pulled my hair back, found something to wear, and went back to the door. I'm here for that beverage. I only had orange juice and water, which was also pretty embarrassing, but Josh stuck around anyways. He didn't ask many questions, really. I started to talk about the nude photo incident, but he said that he didn't really care to talk about it. We both know all the details now. The conversation eventually grew a bit aimless, and we were just talking like old times. It was wonderful. He asked if I was hungry. I wasn't really hungry, but of course I said that I was. We went to a nearby burger place that we used to go to all the time. He did ask whether or not I had dated Alex. He didn't seem too upset by my answer. I asked him if he had dated anyone. He had a 6-month relationship in the interim. She sounded great, but I didn't pry. When we got back to my place, Josh asked me what I was doing for the rest of the day, and I said, I don't have any plans.
I'm going to tell you what you guys got plans for. Therapy. Couples therapy. Even if you're not married, you need it. Both of you need therapy. So, okay. So the amount of broken trust in this relationship is huge, right? At least on the guy's side, I guess. Right? Because he's like, I didn't do this. They're fucking lying. She didn't trust him. She didn't believe him. And I understand. Like, she had multiple friends who all had the same story that this happened. He was being a dickbag. Like, he was being a terrible person. Multiple people, right? And you don't expect your friends who you are friends and you think, like, they're not going to hurt me. They're my friends. Collaborate to try to basically screw you in some way, right? Because they want some like that. That's pretty fucked. But like, y'all need therapy. Y'all need couples therapy. Okay, y'all need to work through this with a professional and not just pretending like it didn't happen, because like the damage is there. Okay, the foundation is more than cracked. Please.
We spent the rest of the day together. Then the night. It's totally stupid to move that fast, but I'm not going to spend too much time worrying about it. I'm feeling happy. We spent part of Sunday together too. Then Tuesday and Wednesday, we discussed what we were doing. 2 single people dating each other was the consensus. Exclusive? Yes. I think the world of him, and I'll always regret what happened. No matter what though, I'm extremely happy that I sent the letter to him. It's interesting to think that if he had actually done what everyone accused him of, and then I took him back, I would probably have trust issues. Now, obviously, I trust him to the core.
Baby doll, I don't care if you trust him to the core. Y'all still need therapy. You need therapy because your friends did this terrible thing to you, okay? Like, you need to go work through that. He needs therapy because, like, he probably has some kind of underlying trust issue and relates to you and your lack of trust in him or something. And I could be wrong. Like, this guy might just be like, it is what it is, and like that might be his motto, and he's fine. I don't know. I think they need therapy. Just like even you don't even have to do this for long term, really. If you don't want to, just occasionally, just try it out a few times. You hope they'll be able to stitch it together, throw exponentially growing sexual favors that level out with a mutual odd fetish. Hey, I just learned this thing about myself. I mean, you gotta discover that shit somehow. We can't all have an extensive AO3 search account feature, tagging. You feel me.
He could tell me the world was flat, and I'd have trouble questioning him. That's just a weird thought that I've been having. So, that's the story. We're together again. Will it work out? I hope so. No matter what, things are better today than they were last week. Wow.
We can't all learn about ourselves through Call of Duty fanfiction.
Josh sounds like a real winner here. I think he's probably more forgiving than I would have been. If I were in his shoes, I don't know if I could have gotten back with OP. Even if...
I couldn't have. I absolutely could not have. At the same time, I mean, I guess there's a thing of like, well, she don't got her friends anymore. She alone. So who's she going to believe now? That was really mean. I'm sorry.
If it was true love, that's a pretty painful betrayal. I do understand why OP listened because it's like 6 people against 1, but ugh. Man, that would really sting if that happened to me. Our next Reddit post comes from r/Am I the Butthole. Am I the butthole for banning my husband and father-in-law from the delivery room due to their intensely stressful and creepy behavior during my pregnancy?
I feel like the answer is no. Listen. Okay. Physically having a baby is horribly traumatic. Okay. Everyone's all up in your biz. You feel like you're probably gonna die. You're in extreme amounts of pain. Okay. Stuff is happening. You're in a situation where you need those people that you trust the most to have your back, to be in there. And if your husband, you feel like, doesn't have your back, then he shouldn't fucking be in there. Like, that sounds horrible. I would question your relationship, but also that's not my business. That's your business. But like, the people in the delivery room should be the people that have your best interest in mind, and you should feel like they have your best interest in mind. Not because like, oh, they should, but like you actively feel like they have your best interest in mind. You feel me? Ara Keys, hello, hi. Yeah, and why would your father-in-law be in the delivery room? Like, like, why the father-in-law in there? Your mom, maybe. Like, the father-in-law is wild. Hey, Jace Wolf.
My husband and I are expecting our first child, which I knew would be a really sensitive issue as his own mother died in childbirth with him. We met with a marriage counselor.
So the man has trauma. We love to see it.
To talk things through at the beginning, and he swears that he's been seeing his own therapist twice a month throughout my pregnancy. I don't want to call him a liar, but I'm fairly sure he's either not going or not talking about the big issue. He and his father, who is a hugely active part of our lives, are completely convinced that I'm going to die in childbirth.
Have you considered going with him to therapy? His own therapist, aka bartender. Have you considered going with him to work out these feelings together? Because, like, you know, you can go in with him. Like, you can request that. Like, hey, you know, I would like to bring my wife in as well. Like, because she has her concerns about me feeling this way. Like, you know?
They won't openly admit it, but their behavior has reached the point where it's constantly making me feel stressed and uncomfortable. When it was my husband saying, please make sure your life insurance is up to date, and I'd like you to meet with a lawyer and draft a will. I was like, that's kind of intense, but okay, if it makes you feel better. When my husband asked me to go through all my possessions and inventory what I wanted to be saved for the baby versus what I would want to be returned to my family in the event of my death, I put my foot down and...
Is that not a fucking will? Like, he wants you to make an itemized list of every single thing you... Listen. Okay. I've mentioned this a few times if you've been around me for a while. So randomly, my mom will talk about her demise with me. And I've had to straight up tell her, like, I'm gonna be honest with you. this conversation is stressing me out because like not only is she like, hey, just to let you know, like I have a funeral plot already and like, which, okay, fine, that's fine. But what she's asking me when she's talking about dying is like what of hers I want. And I'm like, this is a really morbid thing. Like, I'm not so concerned about the things that you own and what I want when you die, Mom. I'm gonna be upset because you're no longer here. Like, I don't. The conversation is upsetting to me. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. So like, I've had to tell her. Like, Mom, this is a really upsetting conversation to me. Please quit asking me what I want when you die. Like, it's like, you know, whatever. Okay, whatever. I don't care. Like, it is what it is. And so she'll be like, well, your sister has some bangle bracelet. I don't super remember it because I don't think she's worn it in a while. But she has like this bangle bracelet that's like lacquer and it has stuff on it. And it's pretty. I remember it being pretty, but like, I don't really super remember it. And my sister has wanted that thing for 20 plus years. I don't fucking know, however long she's had it. And so now when she brings it up, I jokingly go like, I'm going to have to fight my sister for that bracelet on principle. Like, I don't really care about the bracelet, but it's on principle now. Like, and she's like, oh, I want this. I want that. Like, I don't know. So she'll bring up like, well, your sister really wants this bracelet. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to have to fight my sister for that bracelet on principle. I don't know. You won't stop this conversation. I'm just going to fight her for it. Like, but like, this is a little, like, I am convinced that you are going to die within this time frame, right? Like, hey, you have 6 months left. You need to inventory all your shit and write down where you want it to go. Like, what? First of all, I left the will like you asked me to. So there's a will. It's, you know, it exists. Just go by the will. It's fine. I mean, to be fair, my grandmother also had originally an inventoried list, and then she threw that away because she got mad at every single person in my family except for me. So, like, you know, I guess this is wild. This would make me paranoid as shit. I'm already, again, therapist approved paranoid. I don't know if it's approved. Therapist agreed. I don't know. I'm paranoid. Okay, so like this would just send me off. Like I would just like I would be like they're gonna fucking kill me. They're planning to kill me. Are there? I don't know. This is upsetting. Yes, doctor, therapist diagnosed. That is the word. Paranoid. Oh my God.
And said, absolutely not. This is just too morbid. No way. My father-in-law, who lives a few blocks away and eats dinner with us 2 to 4 nights a week, got on my case about how I was making things difficult for my husband in the event that he will be a grieving widower with...
I'm sorry? How about you're making my life difficult? Because, like, now y'all making me paranoid as hell. I need positive vibes here, okay? Do you know how horrific pregnancy and childbirth are? Oh, my God. Shut the fuck up. I need positive vibes only.
The newborn. I'm just going to add here that I've had a completely complication-free pregnancy, and I have no reason to think that I'll die screaming in the coming weeks.
I mean, stuff happens, though. Like, you don't expect it, and then suddenly they can't get you to stop bleeding, and you're bleeding out on the table. I'm just saying, stuff happens. Pregnancy and childbirth are horrific, traumatizing, not only just mentally, but also physically. It's a lot. I'm just
When
saying.
I tell my husband this, he calls me paranoid, but I feel like my father-in-law wants...
I'm sorry. Your husband is calling you paranoid when he just fully believes you're going to die on the table? Pot calling kettle black? What?
me to die. His whole life identity for the past 35 years has been amazing single dad. He's never dated or had close friends or even hobbies, really. And it seems like he's looking forward to being able to guide my husband through what he went through. At this point, I'd honestly be happy to never see my father-in-law again. And I certainly don't want him in the delivery room.
Why?
Especially since he told—
Does he think he's going to be able to go into the delivery? Why would he be in the delivery? First of all, there's a limit of people that are allowed to be in the delivery room from my understanding, okay? Like, generally, right, you can have one, maybe two people, I think. I'm be honest, I never asked to be in my sister's delivery room. I never saw my sister until, like, the earliest once the next day, I think. Maybe. Like, what? How many people you think you're going to be in there? And why would he be one of the people? That's wild to me.
Told me he was putting his foot down about me not being allowed to have an epidural or laughing gas.
I'm putting my foot up your ass. Like, what do you mean you're putting your foot down about what medical decisions I'm fucking allowed to make? I'ma kill you. Like, what are you talking about? I don't think so. First of all, your ass ain't gonna be in the room with me. I don't know why the fuck you think it is. I don't know why you would think that. Second of all, I'm gonna get whatever the hell pain management I want to get, and you're gonna shut the fuck up about it. And the second you start saying something, great, you're cut off from me. Like, what are you talking about?
He has a commanding presence, and I know that whatever he wants in the delivery room, he'll get. I know people will say, oh, labor and delivery nurses would never let that happen. But trust me, you haven't met this man.
You haven't met the amount of people labor and delivery nurses have to fucking deal with. Listen, also, if I'm in, like, a lot of pain, okay, and, like, you are what is key, you are standing in front of my doctor going, she can't have this, be like, get this man out of this room and give me the fucking shot. Like, I just, you know? First of all, don't look up epidurals because don't. It's horrific. It's not what you think it is. But, like, anyway, but, like, listen. What?
My husband, in addition to backing his dad on everything, acts like my due date is my death date. And has completely pulled away from me. Every minute with him is morbid, stressful, and a reminder that our marriage seems—
Okay. You know how with some... I'm sorry, I keep pausing. You know how with some single moms, they end up getting the, like... emotional needs met by their sons. Like, these are typically single moms with a son, and it seems almost kind of incestuous, and it's like, ugh. Like, this is the dad with son version of that. Like, you know, like, y'all are too into each other's whatever. Like, it's too, y'all need therapy. You're putting too much on your kid and vice versa. You're projecting too much. This is weird. This is not healthy. Y'all should have gotten therapy before this. I'm just saying.
To be crumbling. No matter how many times I tell him his behavior makes me stressed and upset, it just gets worse. And I do not want this energy around me when I'm concentrating on giving birth.
You don't.
Then 2 years later, OP posted an update, which is kind of funny because it led a lot of people in the comments of the original post to assume that OP did actually die. To get right to it, I was unfortunately right about my suspicion that my ex wasn't going to therapy. I sat down with him and
This is me clapping. Good, good. You left him. Good. Yes, yes, yes. Was he trying to kill you? Like that's what we want to know.
Very firmly put my foot down about my mother being my support person in the delivery room alongside him, and that my, thankfully, ex-father-in-law was not to be anywhere near the delivery room. I was also very adamant that I was getting an epidural, and my ex-father-in-law had no say about any medical procedures I may take. I also told him that I was seeking my own therapist, as his and his father's actions were worrying me. My ex-husband did not take that well, to put it simply. I had never heard him shout at me like that, and it scared me a little. My fury outweighed my fear not long after, however. He told me that I didn't need a therapist, that he was just trying to be prepared. I admittedly lost my temper and told him that I wasn't gonna die. It wasn't my fault that his father's trauma wormed its way into his head, and that he needed to fix it without taking it out on me. He yelled at me that—
How fucked up was this kid growing up? Because how badly did his father drill into his head? Like how much does he feel like his mother's death was his fault? And if not that, like, a lot of people survive childbirth. Like, yes, women do die in childbirth. I am not saying that is not happening. It absolutely happens, and it's horrific, and I feel bad about it, but it is a thing. How his dad just fucked him up in the head. That's all I'm saying. I don't know.
He didn't need therapy. That caught me a little off guard. I asked him why he went to his therapist and was given advice about my death if he didn't feel like he needed it. His expression gave it away, and he caved not long after. It turns out there was no therapist. It was just his dad. During the times that he was supposed to be at therapy, he was with his dad. I'm still fuming.
Yeah.
In the end, I gave him a choice.
Also, like, what do you mean you don't need therapy? You know you need therapy because you lied to me about getting therapy. You lied that you were going to therapy because you knew you needed it, but now you're trying to claim you don't need it. You are like, okay, everyone's going to think I need therapy, so I should go. Maybe that should be a fucking sign.
He could either go to therapy or I was leaving. I had enough of their delusions. He chose to refuse therapy, and I packed my things up and stayed with my mother. At that point, I still wasn't planning on divorce. I had hoped that we could possibly fix our marriage, as naive as that sounds. But my ex decided that if he couldn't convince me to go back, then he would get his father and the rest of his family to do it. I had to change my number due to the amount of harassment and vitriol they hurled at me. In the end, it was just my mother in the delivery room as I gave birth. I'm thankful for the nursing staff. They were a godsend, and I felt safe that neither my ex or his father would get even remotely close to the room without my say-so. The divorce is still ongoing, so—
Listen, I will give one thing. My understandings, my mom used to be labor and delivery. Like, they don't fuck around. Like, if you're like, hey, I'm like, they don't fuck around on who's allowed to fucking be in there. Like, none of that. Like, they are like, what do you want? And like, no, these people aren't going to come in here if you don't want them in here. Like, straight up.
I can't give too many details on that front, but I have hopes that we can work out a tentative co-parenting agreement. My ex isn't a bad father. He loves our baby girl, but our relationship is done. And for as long as I live, my ex-father-in-law will never be near my daughter.
That's going to be hard if you have a co-parenting relationship with your ex because, like, he's so involved with his father. He's going to involve his father in the child rearing process. So that's going to be a little hard because you're not going to be around them 24/7 to be able to enforce that. Even if you put like protections in place, it can be kind of hard. I hope the best for everyone involved. I hope that he continues to being a good father. Fucking, just pay attention, I guess, is all I can really say. I don't know. This is kind of fucked up.
All right, one thing that was surprisingly never brought up in the entire post is, from the husband's perspective, if you genuinely 100% believe that your wife is going to die in childbirth, why would you knock her up? I mean, did he cry a little bit every time he finished? Oh, it felt good, but I hope I didn't kill you, sweetie. This is just really weird behavior out of OP's husband and his dad.
Also, like, if he's so concerned, did he have a conversation about, like, hey, maybe have a C-section? Hold on, let me finish the rest of it.
That was r/.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up because I want to know. Okay. Never mind. Apparently, natural birth, like normal birth, not C-section birth, is apparently safer. But sometimes C-section is the only safe option depending on what's going on with the baby. Wild. Okay. I didn't know that. That's wild though. That would stress me out. I'm happy she's safe and she's got a safe baby girl and everything worked out for them and she's away from that. Cause like that's scary. Like it's like they want her to die. That's terrible. I don't like that for her. Hopefully everything works out.